Seattle's most famous raccoon just helped raise thousands of dollars, and it's all thanks to one painting. I'm Bethany on the King News Desk. If you've spent any time online, you've probably seen Jimothy, this iconic Ballard raccoon known for his unique appearance, and now he's inspiring generosity throughout Seattle. Local artist Ryan Henry Ward painted Jimothy and pledged 100% of the proceeds to the Ballard Food Bank, saying this organization helped him through some of his toughest times. The winning bid for this painting was $6,543.21, and every dollar is going straight to the food bank.
How legally significant are Trump's claims that China interfered in the 2020 election?
Well, the president's claims of election interference by China would be significant if they were factually true. But despite repeated assertions that the nation's voting systems are untrustworthy and susceptible to fraud, the president has provided no evidence of serious election irregularities.
Is the president laying the groundwork to declare an emergency around the midterms?
Such a strategy would not be uncharacteristic for this president, who has benefited enormously from continually declaring national emergencies to bypass Congress, to trample on the rights of state and local governments, to violate fundamental due process rights. So it is quite possible that the president intends to apply this same approach of governing through perpetual self-created crises to lay a foundation to nullify an unfavorable election result this November.
Beware of that knock at the door if the guy on the other side is offering to fix your roof. Authorities here in King County, Washington are saying it could be part of a scam that is taking some homeowners for hundreds of thousands of dollars. My colleague at the King 5 investigators, Andy Judson, has been tracking leads on this case for months now. The MO, they may approach your house and say they see something wrong with your roof, let's say. They get up onto the roof and there they find more problems. And then they might find something wrong with the siding or the foundation of your house. This goes on, and they take your money, but they never seem to fix anything. A detective says that one homeowner in Tukwila lost nearly $500,000. The telltale sign is the group has Irish accents, according to authorities. To learn more, you can see Andy's story streaming now on YouTube or on the King 5 Plus app on your smart TV. And beware and use caution.
And I don't want to paint a picture, but I'm going to do it for you, Softy. I'm sitting there in Mexico, oiled up. I've got my.
Did you really just say that?
That's a thought we don't need.
Cut!
Get that thought out of here. Edit. Go back. Is this live? Can we take that out, please?
Wow. Well, I got my mojito.
Jeez.
I got a little tahini around the outside, and then somebody asked me, "What do you think of this new Mariners player, Jimothy?"
Yeah, I just heard that HBO has some B-roll of Chris Egan lathering himself up in Mexico that they might use on the air. Every time I bring that up, I can see how uncomfortable Paul's getting. So it really is the only point to bringing it up because it's making you uncomfortable. All right? I mean, if you weren't giving us that reaction, there's no way I'm bringing that up. But I don't know.
I'm sitting right next to this guy. I just can't see it. I don't want to see it.
Seattle Aquarium has a new guest experience where you can go behind the scenes and watch a feeding. Let's go check it out. This is all happening at their Ocean Pavilion, which has been open for nearly 2 years now. Your tour starts below before you go above the reef. Here you'll get to know some of the animals a little bit more, so you'll know who to watch during the feeding.
Once we go upstairs, you will see the different stations that the animals are fed at.
Then it was time to head upstairs and go behind the scenes where very few aquarium guests have ever gone before. As part of the Above the Reef experience, you get to meet the people who are prepping the food for for all the animals in the tank. And fun fact, they use fresh fish that you and I would eat straight from Pike Place Market. They have one shark with very expensive taste in lobster. I'll let them tell you how much they spend on that. But all the food was prepped and ready and it was time to go feed. So when you book the Above the Reef experience, this is where you'll be standing to watch as all of the experts get into position and start feeding the animals, some of them one by one. Everyone eats, from the sharks to the eels to the rays and even the schooling fish. It was pretty incredible to get this whole new perspective above the tank and seeing what it takes to care for these animals. Above the Reef is Seattle Aquarium's first bookable experience. It includes a ticket to the rest of the aquarium. The tours will happen every Wednesday for up to 6 people.
You will see that the animal care team truly enjoys what they do, and they're so great at it.
This weekend's Portland Pride Parade was bustling with crowds, but for one person, the festivities were remote.
And he was on video with me. I showed him the entire parade.
In Sonia Shepsis's one hand, Yvonne was on a video call from the detention center in Tacoma. In her other, a sign that reads, "Asylum saves LGBTQ+ lives. Don't send them back to Russia." Yvonne crossed the border into the U.S. from Mexico June 2024, fleeing Russia for fear of his life because he is gay.
What he would face in Russia now would be not only times so much worse than what he experienced back then when he was growing up.
Yvonne has been in ICE custody since June 2024 and detained at the Northwest ICE Processing Center in Tacoma since September of that year. He's filed for bond hearings and wrongful detention suits unsuccessfully over the past 26 months.
People have been in there for years.
Olia Katala is Yvonne's immigration attorney.
That bond hearing was denied, and partly because he does not have community ties to the United States because he was never released. So it's a catch-22.
Katala is fighting for Yvonne's release once again in the hopes that he can finally find safety and protection in the country that promised him so.
He's been doing everything right. He has no criminal convictions. He's not a criminal anywhere in the world. He's just himself.
The rescued harbor seal pup that was shot in the head, known as number 24 or Waffles, won't be making it home. I'm Bethany on the King News Desk, and after a CT scan on Friday, SR3 veterinarians said they discovered a 7mm bullet had splintered, sending fragments into the pup's brain that weren't visible on x-rays. The damage was too severe. The seal, known as number 24, would have never been able to survive in the wild, so veterinarians made the difficult decision to humanely euthanize him. The heartbreaking update comes just one day before Congress holds a hearing on House Bill 9621, a bill that would expand lethal removal permits for some seals and sea lions to protect endangered salmon. SR3 is urging people to contact lawmakers, arguing the legislation could fuel more violence against marine mammals. The bill's sponsor, Congressman Michael Baumgartner, condemned the shooting, saying no one should be illegally poaching sea lions. This does not have anything to do with my bipartisan bill.
The 4th of July was anything but celebratory for the Stott family here in Aberdeen. This is what's left of the back of their home. The Aberdeen Fire Department says that there were a lot of fireworks going off that night, and this happened at about 3 a.m. on the 5th of July. It's a pretty densely populated area, so there were a lot of fireworks up in the air that night. They don't really know who lit the one that likely caused this fire, but it doesn't really matter either for Larry Stott. He's lost just about everything. He's not really angry. He's trying to be positive, but he knows that this is going to be a tough one to get over, especially since the family did not have any insurance.
What are the main guardrails in place right now that will protect our elections?
Right now, sadly, the most significant threats to our election process are coming directly from the federal government. Not only has the current administration actively sought to undermine faith in American elections and limit voter participation, but many of the election protections that had been in place to maintain election security have been dismantled under the current administration. And so currently it is the lower federal courts in tandem with state and local leaders and election officials that are doing the heavy lifting to counter attempts of federal interference in elections.
Obviously coming off, a first half that, probably would have liked to have gone a little bit better, but at the same time, everything's right in front of us, and that's our focus here as we come out of the break, is looking ahead at what's ahead and feeling very optimistic about, where our guys are at and getting healthier each day and ready to roll. So lots ahead of us, lots of, good baseball ahead of us. Good to be back home here after the break. This has been a very friendly place for us to play, and we want to certainly take advantage of that and get off on the right foot here in the second half.
We have kiddies at home, and every time we're packing a bag, we're convinced that they can tell. Can they?
Absolutely, because you've been thinking about it long before you start packing the bag.
What does pet anxiety look like when we're going on vacation?
Throwing up, diarrhea, things like that. They're very sad, they're very depressed, right? Some animals really do sit and mope and don't come around.
You suggest that when we act a certain way towards our pets, that they will pick up on it.
They pick up on the guilt and they will take full advantage. But the biggest thing is to stay neutral and always set up something super fun for them, so it's almost like they're on vacation too.
I'm very happy with how everything turned out. So I would grade us very highly because really everybody was safe and was able to have a good time, and that's the most important thing.
When they printed that T-shirt out that had Sam Darnold smoking a cigar, holding the Super Bowl trophy, and giving the bird, I went out and bought one immediately. I haven't worn it yet because it's a house, or one you want to kind of wear around the house. You don't want to wear that out in public.
You want to wear that on the show tonight?
No, I wish I could, man. I love that shirt.
We'll put a little box over it. So
blur the finger.
You know what I would do? I wished I could do last year. I wanted to grow some red hair. Like if I could grow hair, I would grow red hair and have the beard and fully support Sam. You know what I'm saying?
You have so much I want want to call it hair envy. I want to say hair respect for guys here in Seattle. Between Bryce Miller, Brady Russell, you were just commenting on the other day, and then now Sam Darnold. I mean, I don't think it's hair envy though, because I think it's for hair respect.
It fully is. You have to think about where we live and it's Seattle, right? Mm-hmm. We have some guys with really good hair here. I don't know what it is. It's something in the air, something in the water, the Pacific Northwest environment.
I mean, look at that silver fox over there.
Listen, we had Brady Russell on earlier this week. You talk about flow.
I played softball with him this weekend, and I touched his hair.
I know. I looked at him immediately, and I said, Terry, I think you've got a new hair crush.
Speaking of hair, look at hers.
All right. I wasn't going to say anything. Yesterday we visited. I got to put the show back on the rails.
No.
Yesterday.
Yeah, we're just going to go off.
We just exposed what investigators describe as a roofing crime ring. So I wanted to hop on here and give you the 3 biggest red flags that every homeowner should know. Red flag number 1, they claim they can do everything.
He said, your chimney's got a big hole in it.
We saw these guys promise homeowners they'd fix their roof, chimney, foundation, and even take care of rodents and pests. Now, legitimate tradesmen specialize in one trade, not all of them. Red flag number 2, several businesses we investigated were licensed and bonded, and the people we interviewed even did the backgrounding that you should do.
They had a website that looked good, and I quickly checked Better Business Bureau, and there were no complaints at that time.
When I dug deeper, I found one of the companies was listed on the Better Business Bureau scam website, and Google reviews saying that the first negative review they left was deleted by the company. So make sure to really dig deep. I have other tips and tricks videos showing you how exactly to do that on my profile. That takes us to the 3rd red flag. If someone's pressuring you to sign a contract so they can start work right away, or they keep finding more problems, that's a major warning sign.
Just kept coming back saying, oh, we need more money to finish it.
Make sure to take a beat, take a breath, and get multiple estimates on the work you're looking to get done by different companies.
Do you want me to
One last thing to note, in this investigation, detectives say many of the suspects shared one unusual trait: Irish accents.
So where's my $9,000?
Now, we explain why that became an important investigative clue in the full story, which you can watch right now at the link in my bio on Instagram, or head to king5.com/investigators.
An immigration attorney in our area is trying to free a Russian asylum seeker who has been in ICE custody for the last 26 months. This is Ivan. He came to the United States through Mexico after he was fleeing Russia because he was being persecuted for being a part of the LGBTQ+ community there. As soon as he crossed over to U.S. soil, he turned himself to Customs and Border Protection and has been in custody since then. He is applying for asylum and has also applied for a bond hearing as well as a habeas corpus petition to get him released multiple times, but unsuccessfully. His attorney says the reason his bond hearing was denied was because he didn't have any community ties and was therefore a flight risk. The attorney calls that a catch-22 because as soon as he set foot on U.S. soil, he's been detained and hasn't had a chance to build community. But in fact, he actually has. He says he made a lot of friends within the detention centers. He's currently being held in Tacoma, and he says he is keeping in touch with the friends that he had made in detention even after those friends have been released. At this point, his attorney is hoping that they can file another habeas corpus petition in the hopes that this time it will be granted.
What if Washington never had to change the clocks again? This week, Congress got one step closer to making daylight saving time permanent. The U.S. House of Representatives passed the bipartisan Sunshine Protection Act, and now it goes to the Senate, and it seems likely President Trump would sign it into law. Washington has already approved permanent daylight saving time, so if federal laws change, then we'd get the green light for the state to stay on the same time year-round, and we'd stop changing the clocks every spring and fall. What are the pros and cons? The biggest benefit would be more daylight in the evening during the winter, and if you dread those 4 p.m. sunsets, then that sounds pretty good, right? Obviously a lot less confusing as well than remembering to switch our clocks. But it's not a clear-cut answer because we're so far north, some winter sunrises in Seattle wouldn't happen until nearly 9 a.m., meaning darker mornings for commuters and kids going to school. Some scientists say standard time is actually better for our circadian rhythms and our overall health, and airlines have also warned that the adjustment could take several years. But let me know in the comments, what do you prefer?
Okay, a lot of you said you just wanted to watch the fatigue testing, so here you go. Turn your volume up. This Boeing 777-9 will never carry passengers. Instead, engineers are putting it through the equivalent of at least 3 lifetimes of flying before the first 777-9 ever enters service. What you're watching is more than 190 hydraulic systems bending the wings, moving the tail, flexing the fuselage, and pressurizing the cabin just like a real flight. Honestly, it's kind of mesmerizing to watch.
Look, man, here's the reason why Mariner fans, I think, should feel slightly optimistic, and I get the frustration. Trust me, nobody understands the frustration more than me. I was born and raised in this town. I'll be 53 in 2 weeks. I've never seen this baseball team in the World Series. We've only seen them in Game 7 of the ALCS one time, so I absolutely 1,000% understand the skepticism and the frustration. But here we are. And you're in first place. You're tied in the win column with Texas. The division's terrible, I know. I mean, honestly, guys, the best thing the Mariners have going for them right now, to be truthful, is their terrible division they play in. Because any other division in baseball, and they'd be maybe likely done, for a division championship. So I get it. But this team has underperformed in every aspect of their team. The offense has underperformed. The stars have underperformed. The bullpen, I think, for the most part, has underperformed. The rotation, even though they have the 6th best ERA in the major leagues, I think they would tell you those guys would. They've underperformed, right? Like we just had the All-Star game last week. If I would have told you guys in December or January, the Mariners are not going to have one pitcher, not one, in the All-Star game, I think you would have been surprised by that. This is a great rotation. This is a great bullpen. How could we not have nobody? Kirby, Gilbert, Munoz, Castillo, Wu, nobody's going to the All-Star game. Are you freaking kidding me? So that would have been a disappointment. So it's amazing that you're sitting here tied for first place, Paul and Chris, and not one part of this baseball team not only has overperformed, but not one part, I think, has even lived up to the standards they had a year ago.
On my way from Reflection Lake back to Paradise, lots of snow melting. Rivers are running pretty heavy, and it is gorgeous.